Cooper Marcher here. The other day I did a story about Casper the cat who rode on buses. That got me to thinking about a story my mom told me about that involved her mother and father-in-law, the Twitchells. Remember, this is a true story. Back in 1962, Walt Disney Films had a movie called Big Red about an Irish setter. Big Red was a gorgeous setter who was born in Quebec, Canada. Barney, the subject of my story, was from that lineage, and he was a beauty. Now, Irish setters have been described as rollicking, happy-go-lucky, clownish, impulsive, flighty, and demonstrative. This lively dog can be a destructive handful during the gawky adolescent stage, which lasts 2 to 3 years. But given sufficient exercise and obedience training to instill good manners, adults gradually become more dignified and aristocratic. The sociable Irish setter gets along well with everyone, including other pets. Indeed, he requires a good deal of companionship and doesn't thrive if left alone too much. In the story about Casper, his owner had a hard time containing Casper. Well, that was also an issue with Barney. He always got away, got out, and went on adventures on his own. Barney loved the bus, and we don't know where he boarded the bus, although he did live in Shelburne. He always ended up at the downtown bus terminal in Burlington, Vermont, at the end of the day. The bus drivers really loved him until they couldn't get him to leave the bus at the end of the day and had to call Mr. Twitchell to come and get him. This happened quite a few times. In those days, buses had 2 doors, one near the driver and another one in the middle of the bus. And Barney would use the middle door so not to be spotted by the driver and would sit in the very back the entire trip until they were back at the terminal. He also made trips to one grocery store on Shelburne Road and got in trouble because he managed to get in and steal a steak from the store. Also, his owner, Mr. Twitchell, planted 10 to 12 cedar trees for a cedar hedge. And when he came home from work that same day, Barney had dug up every single one. His owner was not amused. I think perhaps the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, was the evening the family had guests, and they had just placed a beautiful roast in the center of the dining room table. Yes, can you guess where this is going? I bet you can. Barney was discovered moments later in the center of the table eating the roast. When discovered, he tried to get away and put deep scratches in their beautiful cherry dining room table. Needless to say, I think that was the end of Barney's stay at the Twitchells. But don't get upset. It's not a sad ending. He found a great home on a farm and lived out his remaining years having fun on the farm. Cooper Marcher here. Ciao.